to talk about fear because I wanna give my take on fear, and I wanna give you an example, like a practical thing that actually happened to me and a friend of mine, and I wanna explain fear and actually how we unconsciously react. And it's a normal state of being for us, but what we can do to prevent the fear to just be a reaction, and being in a reaction that we not doing the best to us and others. I hope you can see, and this is not what you believe it is. This is actually a theme park in Sweden. So I'm going to tell you a story, like a short story. I have a good friend of mine, and this summer we were at this theme park, and he told me that he was afraid of heights. So I said, then you gotta challenge yourself. And he was like willing to do that. He understood that if he put himself in a situation where he was fearful, he would get rid of the fear. He was so afraid. He told me that when he was far up sometime, he was like shaking. The fear took over, the emotion took over. So what happens is that we are in this theme park, and he tells me this, and I was like, yeah, let's fucking beat the shit out of the fear. So you get rid of the fear, because what can happen in your life if you live a life without this fear? I said, let's go on this roller coaster. And this roller coaster is like this. I hope you can see, but there's people sitting all around like a ring around this tower, kind of. And it starts down here, and then it goes slowly upwards, and it goes to the top, and then it drops straight down. So you get like free falling, and it's like, I think it's like 120 meters, something around like that. We jump in down here, and it's no problem. Like, we talk normal and everything, and he's like a bit excited, and I'm excited because I love this stuff. I just love the thrill, you know, you get in your stomach. You're like, for me it's a good feeling. But when we start to come up, we go halfway. We go here. And we can see we start to see the whole city, because this thingy is on top on a mountain. So when you come even here, you can see the whole city. And I told them, we're going up and continue up, and it stops like in the top. And when it stops, it's still for like maybe a minute or two, so you can see the view. And then all of a sudden, boom, it hits and it drops. So I told them before it drops, I said, look at the horizon, look down, look over there. Do you see that over there? Like, I pointed at stuff, and for me it's just normal to just sit there and just like enjoy. But for him, that was scared of heights, he started to react on this. When you're reacting from a state of fear, it's like the fear is taking over. So when I told them, look over there, he's like, shut up, Michael, shut up. He was like, you see, he's like, he could barely control himself in this situation. The outer world gave us a signal to our body that gave us a feeling, and that particular feeling gave us a signal how to react. And he didn't want me to talk at all, and he was like screaming like that. Then he dropped, and we all like, I kind of screamed. I was like, I screamed like a girl, and it goes all the way down, and boom, it stops. And then he was all normal when he was down there. He was like, it was all normal. So when you're up here compared to when you're down here, if you're afraid of heights, depending on how much fear you have in your body, you will react differently. So what we did is that we actually took this ride, I don't really remember, but like 8 times or something like that. Up and down, up and down, up and down. And and just released the emotion, let go of the whole fear. And then in the end, he could relax. He was like, he let go of the emotion. He allowed the emotion to be there and then let go of it. That was happening. And I was like, it learned me so much, this whole situation. I will never forget it. It's a beautiful situation where I understood that people react from a state of feeling. That's why we do stuff. That's why we do everything on this earth. It's from a place of emotion. Either you do it or you don't do it because of an emotion. And in the end, he was like completely fine. And it was like he let go of the fear. And that was cool to see. From a place that was like, like this, and like, shut up, to like, And this happens, it can happen anywhere. It can happen on the street if you see a dog. If you're afraid of dogs because something happened to you maybe when you were a kid, you can react the same way. You can be in this emotional state where it takes over. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying that be aware of what emotion that comes up and just allow the emotions to be there. Because the more we resist the emotion and telling ourselves that it's not supposed to be there, like, take the dog away, or like, take me down, it's telling your brain that this is not what it's supposed to be, and the emotion will still be there. But if you let go of the whole situation, the whole emotion, and just allow the feeling to be in the situation, the energy will kind of drain itself out and the fear will disappear. So, are you living up here in a state of fear where you react on your emotion? Or are you living down here all the time, whatever happens? Depending on where we are, for example, the toilet paper was out. And it's just interesting how the toilet paper could be out and like a lot of food and stuff. This is just my hallucination. And I believe that people are here. They're living in this state. And they act on the feeling. They act on what they feel in the now, in the present moment. And then you're here. But fear is often an illusion of something. Fear can be picked up from another person in the past, and it can be completely made up. Usually, we have a lot of fears. It can be fear of it. I had the fear like recently that was really strong in me, like fear of rejection, and that feeling gave me such a bad feeling that I did not act in different situations, and that allowed me to just stay where I'm at, and I could not like progress. But when I understood that the emotion was a fear of reaction, I can actually let go of that whole thing, process that, and continue to do what I want to do. Energy and emotions are contagious. So when you meet someone that is in fear, like my friend was up here, he was in a state of fear. And I'm not telling you it's bad, but what happens is when you meet someone that is in fear, let's say you're walking outside and someone comes up to you and you're like, it's like this. You can feel the energy of that person, and the best way in this situation to just be calm. That energy is also contagious. Because the more energy we put into fear, the bigger the fear will be. It's like a domino effect. When one person talks to another person, that person is afraid of something. Maybe it's often what we're afraid of is like fear of death. I had it. I had a massive fear of death because of my father. I thought that I was going to die when I was like 40, and I was rushing into stuff, and it made me do stuff before I was going to die. That energy will be projected on another person. Maybe it can be a fear of loss, that you will lose something, or it could be like a fear of anything. and that projects onto one person, and then talks to another person, and then talks to a third person, and the third person talks to another person, and this fear will just boom, 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 boom. It's like a domino thing. And the best way here is to just like trust in yourself, and you will be fine in any situation. Like, we are more than any circumstances. We are more than any problem that will come to us. When you have that like inner belief, you're like, oh, anything can happen. Look, completely calm. I actually believe that this is the best thing that can happen. You know why? Because this is in a moment to invest. This is a moment to actually restart if you want. It's a moment where you can actually start something new. You can invest in things that will bring you wealth in the future. So it's all what you give a meaning to. So what meaning are you giving this whole situation? Are you living here or are you living here? Where are you? How do you react? Often we are so programmed to act in a situation. Like we do the same over and over. Always. Because our subconscious has programs that we go on. It's like an autopilot. So if you act on one thing, you will act in the same way next time, because that is how your subconscious is programmed. It's the only thing your brain knows. And the more energy we put into this, and I'm not saying that we should ignore this thing. It's horrible what's happening. And we should be cautious and not like spread this thing. It's like horrible. But overreact on the whole situation is not good either. Panicking is like built into us. It's a fight and flight system that we have, and it's there to save us when there was a tiger or something else with a spear gun chasing us. But it's not at the moment. But we react in the same way because our brain is like 2 million years old, and that just makes the whole situation worse because we are not aware of what's actually going on inside, like in here. It's all about emotions, and the emotions trigger your behavior. So a thought becomes an emotion, the emotion triggers an action. So I just want to explain this short. Where are you? Like, it's just objective. Where are you? Like, observe your own situation. Where are you?